Good evening. Today is Thursday, August 24th, 2023, and welcome to the regular meeting session of the Milford School Committee. This meeting is being broadcast by Milford TV, and copies can be obtained at the request of this board or through central office. So good to see everybody tonight. Our first agenda item is the approval of minutes, and these are for the regular session held on July 27th of 2023. Any discussion on those minutes? Not seeing any, so looking for a motion to approve the July 27th, 2023 minutes. Motion by Megan, second by Robin, then all in favor. Mike, you're still considering?
I was looking. Yeah, I was there. Oh, no,
Okay.
I abstain.
Okay, so that will be
I
5 in
there.
favor and then 1 abstention from Mike. Excellent. We're not going to do announcements, correspondence, and distributions or invitation to speak unless we need to add it on for if anybody has anything to add, but I don't think so at this point. So good. Moving on then, we'll go to our report about the approval warrants, update the personnel updates, and acceptance of gifts, and that will be done by Dr. McIntyre.
Yep, so there are 14 warrants with a total of $2,912,886.71 for your approval.
All right, looking for a motion to approve the warrant. Motion by Matt, second by Robin, all in favor, and that is unanimous. Excellent.
There's a personnel update which requires no vote, and we do have gifts.
Yes, yeah, great gifts here. So the first gift, the donor is Waters Corporation in the amount of $9,000, and this is for our Science Olympiad. So thank you very much to the Waters Corporation for their generous gift. The second, in the amount of $67,031, is the donor was the Foundation for Metro West, and that is going to be used for the equity in education. So thank you very much for the Foundation for Metro West. And then our last gift tonight is going to be for the Do Kind, and that is in the amount of $475.19, and the donor is Boy Scout Troop 4 from Josh Anderson's Eagle Project Funds. So thank you very much to Boy Scout Troop 4 and Josh Anderson, and again, that will be for the Do Kind. So looking for a motion to accept these 3 gifts. Motion by Robin, second by Matt, all in favor, and that is unanimous. Excellent. Right. Very good. Moving on to our second read on the policy, and this is going to be policy IMH, our therapy dog policy. I will turn that over to Robin.
Yeah, sure. So this is our second read, and it's establishing a policy on having therapy dogs used within the district. At our last meeting where we talked about this, there was a bit of discussion over the wording that we wanted to use in this policy around the training and certification. And so you'll see on page 1 of this policy, under the heading training and certification, the second line is the owner must submit appropriate certifications as determined by the superintendent or designee, which was the language we had discussed at the last meeting. And so that is reflected there. This is a second reading, and so it does require a vote to accept and adopt this policy.
Thank you very much. Looking for a motion to accept second read on this policy IMH.
So moved.
All right. Motion by Michael, second by John, all in favor, and that is unanimous.
According to Robert's rules,
There
so
you go.
moved.
Excellent. All right, moving on, we're going to go over the superintendent evaluation for the 2022 and 2023 school year. So, just verifying everybody got the copies. I know I sent out a revised copy this afternoon, so just want to ensure that. And again, there was 2 forms, as I explained. One form being the DESE form. The other is just more of a cumulative form that I used, and I used it last year the same way to kind of bring all the information together. Big thank you to Matt for creating that the Google Doc to be able to kind of concentrate on those aspects of it. Certainly, I think it was great from my side to be able to utilize that to kind of hone in on all the information. So so thank you to Matt on that. Obviously, if there's any iterations of improvement, please let Matt know, and of course we can continue to use that. So from that side of it. All right. So with that, I'm going to move. Actually, we'll start with, I guess, the second page, which were the district highlights. So these were prepared by the superintendent, and just quickly going through, how we returned to a traditional schedule of academic and extracurricular activities after 3 years of the pandemic impact. We implemented the new illustrative math program and curriculum, the successful development of our 2023-2024 budget, successful completion of the Milford Teachers Association contract negotiations, successful completion from the Milford Behavior Assistance contracts. We also secured $12 million in grants in the last 3 years. We've hired 2 attendance supervisors, as we know that attendance is an important district goal. 50 new educators, and then we've offered comprehensive training to these new educators and all of our educators from a professional development side. And as we know that we're preparing for the 6 modular classrooms and the addition at Brookside Elementary School, which is ongoing. And then also the turf field part of it has been completed and being utilized. The track portion is coming up in the next couple months, and also the lighting is coming up in the next couple months. So with that, I'm going to move on to, we'll skip these next couple pages and just look at the goals and the standards. The first goal was surrounding was student learning, and this goal was description was drive improvements in math instruction across the district in order to increase all students' academic achievements and critical thinking skills in mathematics through the implementation of a new mathematics curriculum at the elementary level and providing all of our students with access to rigorous and relative mathematics tasks. Those focus indicators within this instructional leadership were standard-based unit and lesson support, student engagement, quality of effort and work, and adjustments to practice. Within the 7 responses, 57% felt that the superintendent met these goals. Around 29% said there was significant progress in this goal, and 14.3% some progress was made on this goal. The next goal was to improve daily attendance and reduce chronic absenteeism across the district. This is all about the instructional leadership and is a data-informed decision-making focus indicator. Within that, the 7 responses felt that 57.1% that some progress was made towards this goal. 29% felt significant progress was made towards this goal, and 14% felt this goal was met. Goal number 3 was to improve diversity of the Milford Public Schools staff through improvements to our practices for recruiting, selecting, inducting, and retaining staff. And multiple focus indicators there, instructional leadership, management and operations, family and community engagement, and professional culture. Within that goal, we have 43% felt some progress was made, 43% also felt that significant progress was made, and 14% felt that this goal was met. On to goal number 4, which was complete a review of the facilities across the Milford schools, which will include focus work with the Milford School Committee Facilities Subcommittee, either resubmitting a statement of interest to the Massachusetts School Building Authority or move forward in the next step of the process and oversee the installation of the Brookside Elementary School addition. Focus indicators within that goal were the family and community engagement and professional culture. 85.7% or 86% of the 7 respondents felt that some progress was made, and 14% felt that significant progress was made. So after the goals, we also looked at the different standards. Standard 1 was the instructional leadership, and the instructional leadership is using multiple sources of evidence related to student learning, including state, district, and school assessment results and growth data to inform school and district goals and improve organizational performance, educator effectiveness, and student learning. Within that standard of instructional leadership, of the 7 responses, 71.4% of the school committee members felt that this standard needs improvement, and that 28.6% felt that the instructional leadership was proficient. So, and with that, there was I was able to collaborate everybody's respondents there. So Dr. McIntyre's presentation encompassed various aspects of a standard, including attendance, iReady data, MCAS results, and SEL data. However, the provided achievements were deemed insufficient for fully addressing the goal of improving attendance and reducing absenteeism, leading to a needs improvement rating. The superintendent's lack of personal accountability and leadership in achieving positive results attributed to motivating administrators as highlighted, along with concerns about his responsiveness to requests for information. The superintendent's responsibility to uphold educational pillars is emphasized, and deficiencies in literacy are noted based on data from building principals. The need for more comprehensive and structured approach to improve elementary level literacy skills is stressed. While the rollout of the Illustrative Math program under Dr. McIntyre's instructional leadership is praised, concern is expressed about the omission of Memorial Elementary School and the need for increased focus in English language and literacy learning. The importance of evaluating student emotional needs and a proactive leadership in the SEL department is highlighted. Despite adding attendance and supervisors, chronic absenteeism remains a significant issue, calling for improved leadership and progress in this area. And I want to note that through some recommendations, and it actually worked out very well, and I felt like it took out biases. I used ChatGPT, and I put everybody's responses into chat, and it spit it out. And I did do some edits to it, but I think it's important to note that because again, I felt like it took out the bias from what my side was, where I didn't have to go through and kind of pick who said what. Chat did all that for me, and I felt it was a good way where this isn't a creative document, this is a structured document, so I felt like that was a good use of that tool. So I want to let everybody know on that. The next standard was in management and operations, and this standard, the superintendent implements a cohesive approach to recruiting, hiring, induction, development, and career growth that promotes high quality and effective practices. Of the 7 responses, it was kind of mixed, so 57% felt the superintendent needs improvement in this area, and 43% felt that the superintendent was proficient. As a summary, Dr. McIntyre's evidence supports the importance of a diverse educator recruitment and retention. Milford Public Schools prioritizes hiring and retaining a diverse workforce due to recent needs, employing creative sourcing and mentoring programs with an emphasis on reducing bias. However, concerns exist about the superintendent's collaboration with staff, hiring practices, and fiscal irresponsibility. Staff development relies on oversight and reviews for internal promotions, while the managing rating highlights safety and efficiency issues impacting student learning. Improvement efforts include diverse staff recruitment, despite some successful actions. And moving on to Standard 3. the superintendent engages in regular two-way, culturally proficient communication with families and community stakeholders about student learning and performance. Of the 7 responses, 71.5% felt the superintendent was proficient, and about 28.5% felt the superintendent needs improvement in this area. As a summary, Dr. McIntyre's provision of evidence for meeting communication standards included multilingual district communications through various channels, lacks objective data for an exemplary rating. Culturally proficient in the communication has been emphasized with the addition of the Milford Public Schools newsletter and efforts to engage the community further. However, some communications lack substance and often defer decisions, while the school committee's requests remain unfulfilled. There is room for improvement in bilingual communication. The superintendent was proficient in family and community engagement, using regular emails and a newsletter, and fostering relationships with educational institutions and local businesses to support graduates. All right. And our last standard is the professional culture standard. The superintendent develops and nurtures a culture in which staff members are reflective about their practice and use student data, current research, best practices, and theory to continuously adapt practice and achieve improved results. Models these behaviors in his or her own practice. Within the professional culture, 57% of the 7 respondents felt the superintendent was proficient, and 43% felt the superintendent needs improvement. To summarize, Dr. McIntyre has shown proficiency in certain areas by facilitating staff feedback through surveys and promoting collaboration through book studies. However, improvement is needed in terms of reflecting on his leadership practices and ensuring consistent instructional quality. It is important to note that professional culture evidence represents the work of administrators, teachers, educators, and other team members across the district. Goals regularly represent the collective effort and work from Milford Public School staff. It is suggested that the superintendent shares how he incorporates a new approach and invests in professional development. The need for more cross-disciplinary programs to align curriculum across grade levels is emphasized. Despite some positive aspects, Dr. McIntyre's proficiency in fostering a professional culture is acknowledged, seen in his support for reflecting teaching practices, adapting student diversity, and addressing social-emotional learning challenges within the Milford School District. So those are the goals and the professional standards. And all that kind of accumulates to the overall summative that was back on page 3. Just from a formality side of it, I put the summative part of it at the beginning, and then everything else is kind of what I consider to be the supporting document. So the overall summative evaluation and comments, again, also this was generated using ChatGPT, so it was able to spit out from all 7 of the kind of collaboration and respondings the positive points. Dr. McIntyre has demonstrated progress in student learning and some district improvement goals. There's evidence of proficiency in family and community engagement. Dr. McIntyre has been proactive in leading district curriculum shifts, notably in elementary mathematics. There was a successful implementation of this new math curriculum. The superintendent has reacted to the growing student population needs with the hiring of additional staff to meet diversity needs. Continued support for high school renovations or rebuild through the submission of a statement of interest, and advocated to obtain funding for additional classroom space at the Brookside Elementary School. Based on the comments from the committee members, areas of improvement are more diligent managerial oversight and responsibility needed, particularly with facilities cleanliness and maintenance. a lack of indicating a significant impact on improvement of student attendance, concerns over contracts not being in the best interest of Milford taxpayers, need to focus on subjects such as literacy due to low scores. And the superintendent should improve transparency and accountability, especially in addressing concerns raised by the committee. Some general remarks is Dr. McIntyre has been described as a well-seasoned in his role, implying that experience and understanding of the system. This past year, particularly during COVID, shifted priorities, but there are expectations of better progress post-pandemic. Some committee members expect more from the superintendent in terms of strategic leadership and fiscal management. The committee seeks more through reviews of administrative staff and departments to ensure better management, and the relationship and communication between the superintendent and the committee requires strengthening, as some feel their guidance has been ignored. And to summarize, so the overall performance side of it, 57% of this committee felt that the superintendent still needs some improvement, and 43% felt he was proficient. So, Milford Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Kevin McIntyre recently completed his 7th year as superintendent and 10th year working in the Milford Public School system. The overall performance of the superintendent was split between needs improvement and proficient. During the 2022-2023 school year, Dr. McIntyre demonstrated positive strides in some areas, including curriculum shifts and a rollout of a new math program, all while responding to the needs of a growing student population. However, concerns have been raised about managerial oversight, especially concerning facilities and fiscal matters. There's a distinct need for enhancing communication and collaboration between the superintendent and the school committee. While the post-pandemic year brought about its set of challenges, there is a unanimous call for focused leadership to drive education quality and maintain fiscal responsibility moving forward. So again, thank you everybody for all their time and effort and in their timeliness of getting all of the information to me. I appreciate that. So we were able to kind of meet all of our goals and deadlines. At this point, I'm going to open it up to the committee members if they want to add anything on their own or have anything more to say in regards to the summary side of it. So I guess what I'll do is just raise your hands, and if you have anything more to say, please do. So, Megan.
I actually have 2 clarifying questions, and it might be via the process you just described that you used to accumulate this information. But when I look at, it's actually in both documents, but when I look at the summative evaluation on page 6 for the instructional leadership comment, it says, while the rollout of the illustrative math program under Dr. McIntyre's instructional leadership is praised, concern is expressed about the admission of Memorial Elementary School, and that wasn't clear to me. Memorial Elementary was certainly incorporated in that rollout, so I didn't know what that comment was.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, good question. That was from mine. When I read through and the documents, the supporting documents, I felt like there was a lot of emphasis on Brookside, and I just wanted to note that I felt, for whatever reason, it may have just been a clerical side of it, that knowing that I assumed Memorial was included, but again, it wasn't in that supporting document, so I think that.
Gotcha. So I think from a sample standpoint, I don't think our request is that all the evidence is provided, and so I can assure all community members that Memorial was incorporated in that rollout, so I don't think that's a fair comment to include in either of the documents. I just wanted to make that kind of clarifying statement.
Sounds good.
Just because I think it reads a little funny. And then the only other one I wasn't sure about is on the overall rating of professional culture. The last sentence reads, despite some positive aspects, Dr. McIntyre's proficiency is acknowledged. I'm not sure that despite is the right word.
Okay.
Sorry, just
no problem.
Okay.
And which, I'm sorry, where was that again,
The
Megan?
last sentence of the summative evaluation.
The summative,
professional
sorry.
Culture. It's actually in both, I think.
Okay.
That's just
Yeah, I
what
would've.
took it out of.
Yep.
And again, maybe it was just the process by which these were accumulated, but it didn't. I just wanted to make sure I was following the commentary that was made. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Very good. All right. Anybody else, anything to add on this? Not seeing anything, so Dr. McIntyre, turn it over to you.
A quick comment. I appreciate the feedback. We will continue to provide educational opportunities to meet the diverse needs of our students. One of our biggest challenges is the challenge that districts are facing nationwide, which is ensuring students attend school consistently. This will again be a point of emphasis and will be a full team effort. Student categorized as high needs are much more likely to be chronically absent across the country, and this also bears out in our local data as well. Our attendance supervisors and administrators have already met with a number of students and families this summer with the hope that they start out the year strong. As a school system, we have been a careful steward of the resources that are provided to educate the students in Milford. Our growing student population and increasing high needs population within the whole has led to a great deal of financial support from the state for the past few years. We are lucky to have a committed and dedicated team who are focused on providing a positive educational experience for all of our students, which is focused on learning and growth. I look forward to the start of school next week, and we're ready for a great school year coming up. So thank you.
And anything else? And I think I mentioned, right, there was the two documents, so obviously I presented both documents to Dr. McIntyre, but one being the template, so. All right. And I did put I don't know if we've done it in the past, a signature page on that, so I felt like that was something that would be a good thing to do as those that want to sign off on that document. So, that being said, we're moving on to adjournment at this time.
I just have a quick question. I
Of
know
course.
that a couple just suggestions were brought up
Yeah.
before we distribute it for signatures. Would it be possible to make any edits, so possibly not at this meeting
Mhm.
having members sign it, if any edits are going to be made, and bringing
Yeah.
that to the next meeting, if that sounds okay?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I don't think anybody else have any objections to that. I wouldn't think so. So, yeah. we can
No,
go
I
through
don't have
that.
any objections or any insight. I'm not sure which ones. I don't think there's any legalities behind
I
it.
think
Yeah.
we make the edits that
to
were
doing it.
suggested and we sign it.
Yeah, so, not a problem. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So, anything else? All right, so moving on to adjournment. So at this time, we'll be ending the open session of our meeting to enter executive session, where we will discuss contract negotiation. And so at this time, we will take a roll call vote, as we will not be returning to open session. Start over with Robin,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Thank you, everyone, and good night.